Hello and welcome to Planet Towers, the series where me and Ukoasters are trying to recreate all of Alton Towers Resort without the spa in Planet Coaster 2. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to be creating here is the Coca-Cola freestyle sort of vending unit. So this is outside of Towers Trading, well, the exit to Towers Trading. So one of the first things you see as you go into the park. So yeah, we can see I was trying to find a octagon type shape in the Frontier Workshop, but there wasn't any. So I had to create it myself out of triangles and squares. So you can see I'm starting to do this here. So this first episode is going to be a mix of me commentating about what's going on, but also sort of explaining some of the things that's happening in this series. So yeah, I am collaborating with Ukoasters on this, and so far he has definitely done a lot more for the project than me. We'll have a look through some of the stuff that he's done, and some of the other stuff that obviously I got done in this video a bit later on. But here we can see I've got this sort of octagon shape done for the roof, and then I'm going to fill it in with another square in the middle. Next, I'm going to create these little parking barriers that you see under the monorail, but they look like just massive blue, like Lego bricks. I'm not sure if they've possibly come from a Lego brick park, a Legoland park, sorry. But you can see here me creating them. For some reason, I use like planters. So yeah, I can see just moving these along to spread them out. So next, going back into the park, I have imported our Coca-Cola thing, and I am now going to add some of the more details to the side, such as we've got a bottle that I'm going to add, which looks like the Coca-Cola bottles are on the side. Couldn't find one specific enough, so I just used a wine bottle, but once I've recoloured that, it'll look fine. So yeah, you can see here adding that and then doing some more details around that. And then here we can see I am adding the roof to this little unit thing, which again looks a bit messy just because I'm having to do it out of shapes, as none of the roofs would go this small. So I've just had to do it out of shapes. In a bit later on I will come back and tidy that up. So far what you've seen is probably about an hour of footage, because this game does take a while, especially if you're trying to create a bit more detailed, and I know my stuff so far hasn't been brilliant, but here we are. Next we are going to work on this food unit that is chocolate and waffles. This is sort of towards the end of Tower Street. If you go left, walk into Mutiny Bay. So there I'm just sort of creating some of the wall and the shapes for it, and then I will start to furnish it. There I've done the sign. So that includes a lot of just sort of duplicating the shapes and changing the letters, etc. To create that sign. And now I'm creating the walls going backwards, and then the back wall as well. And then I'm just using some shapes for the roof, because the roof pieces wouldn't have gone small enough. And then adding some brick wall to the back, and this gives it the brick texture on the inside. So here I'm just adding some awning to the front and then onto the sides. Unfortunately you can't change the colour of this, but it's about as close as I could get really. And then here I am adding some text, so it's got some We Love Chocolate text on the sides. I've split that up into We Love and then Chocolate. And then I'm going to add some cylinders, which I'm turning into chocolate fountains, because there isn't a chocolate fountain piece obviously, and there we go, there they are built. And then I've added these two TVs. Unfortunately you cannot import like custom images yet, so I've just left them off blank. And then I'm saving this as a thing, so then I can go over to the actual map and I can import that into there. And now I'm coming back over to the Coca-Cola freestyle unit, and I'm just finishing off the roof for this. So I've added some triangles to it, and then I am going to use some rectangles to sort of do a bit of trimming to cover up some of the messier edges. So yeah, you can see I'm just rotating that around. And then that's making that Coca-Cola freestyle unit look a lot better. So now I am extending the bottom of Tower Street, adding the biggest of sort of the grass rings. So I've built these rocks around, just copied them and scaled them up from the one before. And then here I am just doing the paths using the quite bizarre tools, but they work. But I accidentally cut some of it off here, so just tidying this up a bit. And this means we can sort of continue on in the next bit. So now it has been quite a while between that clip, and Ukoasters has done a lot more work, and we are going to start by adding the first two rides, which are the two flat rides in Mutiny Bay. Now, unfortunately, there isn't a rocking tug in the game, so we are going to have to make that non-functional. But we can do Marauders Mayhem, because it's obviously just a generic sort of teacups ride. So you can see here I am using Planet Coaster's 2's new feature, which is being able to attach scenery to rides. So I'm adding a big barrel in the middle and then adding a post going up, because this is actually what Marauders Mayhem is like. I've also changed the colours of the teacups to be barrels. I could sort of make these better, but I haven't. And then now I just spend absolutely forever getting these arches around the circle to make the walls. You can tell this took quite a while, but after I've done a couple of them, I sort of duplicate it round, hoping it lines up. Now this ride is actually slightly too big than Marauders Mayhem is, because it's got quite a big sort of area around the ride. But what we could do is we could sink that into the ground, but then guests would behave with it really and interact with it really weird. So we're just going to accept that it's going to be slightly too big. After we actually put it into the Mutiny Bay area, it's not actually too bad. We can see here I've copied those walls all the way around, just finishing the last few off. Okay, so here I'm just starting to add the start of the roof, which is like a thatched roof. So I'm adding just the top piece of that. And then now we have moved it into Mutiny Bay, and I'm just sort of tidying some of the path bits up around that. And the nice thing about Planet Coaster 2 is that you can build the rides on the paths, which is quite cool. And then I started trying to do the queue line with the actual like queue line pieces, but unfortunately the paths just wouldn't work like they do. Anyway, now we are starting to build the roof, but this is really boring. So here is the roofing montage. Okay then, so here we have Marauders Mayhem with the roof. Now yes, it is a little bit wonky, but it's a thatched roof, it's never going to be perfect. So this isn't the finished thing. I'm definitely going to try and add some more theming, and clean it up a bit. But here it is for now, it's looking quite good. So here now I am starting to create the operator's cabin, which is like a wooden box that comes off the side, and it has like gun holes on it. So I might try and add some of the decals later on. But here we are, just trying to make that vaguely looking alright. Doesn't look great, but yeah, here we have Marauders Mayhem. So now I'm going to walk through the park as it currently is. So here we have the entrance. We've got the corkscrew monorail station and the entrance turnstiles. So there's the main tower. For some reason Chief Beef's there. Anyway, and walking out onto Tower Street. So Ukoasters made like 90% of this, so yeah, this is obviously credit to him. I have done very little so far. So here we have the Coca-Cola freestyle thing that I made though. That looks alright. Again, definitely needs some improvement though. Got Tower Street on our left. The frog fountains will be coming up on our right in a minute. And yeah, here we are Towers trading entrance. It is cordoned off at the minute. We might try and build the interiors of these buildings later on, but not at the minute. And then walking around to the left, this is a restaurant. Don't know if it's open anymore, but we're going off Google Maps. And then here's the chocolate and waffles thing that we made earlier. I think that fits in quite well. Over to the left here would be the Skyride station, but I haven't built not yet anyway. And then here we are going into Mutiny Bay. So we've got the entrance sign here that's been really well done by Ukoasters. And then here we have Mutiny Bay. So we've got a couple of the games stalls. We've got this little thing that don't think actually exists anymore, but it's still there. Then we've got the courtyard as well, which is not complete yet. And then we have Marauders Mayhem. So yeah, that looks alright from ground level. You can see in here that all of the barrels are in. And then we've got the operator's cabin. So yeah. So that brings us to the end of episode 1. Thank you all very much for watching. If you would like to see how the rest of the buildings have been made so far, head over to Ukoasters' channel. It will be linked in the description. He's done, I think, 3 or 4 videos so far. So if you want to see more regular updates and to see the other perspective, then head over to his channel. His videos are very good. So, if you did enjoy this video, please consider liking and subscribing because this took absolutely forever. What you're seeing here is about 6 hours of footage, just for the few little bits that I've done. And yeah, leave a like and subscribe for episode 2. Goodbye.